There's an invisible intelligence flowing beneath everything you can see or touch. It doesn't listen to your words. It listens to your vibration. Your life right now isn't a test, a punishment, or a random accident. It's a mirror, reflecting the frequency you send out, not occasionally, but continuously. Your world isn't simply happening to you. It's being shaped through you. And this is where so many people lose their way. They keep rearranging their external world, yet never adjust the broadcast coming from within. They change the job, the relationship, the city, but their inner signature stays the same. And so the reality does too. Bob Proctor once said, "Everything in your life is a reflection of your frequency. Change the frequency, and you change the results." This isn't a metaphor, it's quantum mechanics in motion. The unified energy field that surrounds all of existence doesn't respond to desire, it responds to coherence. You've heard the phrase, act as if. But this isn't about pretending or performing, it's about alignment. When you act from the energy of already having, already being, already knowing, you're not faking it. You're tuning yourself to the version of reality where it already exists, and the field adjusts to match. Everything is energy, and energy responds to resonance. When your inner world vibrates in harmony with your intention, emotionally, mentally, physically, your outer world starts to reorganize itself around that signal. It may not happen instantly, but the shift begins. The frequency is transmitted. The field begins to move. Think of your current circumstances as a delayed echo of your past vibration, the physical residue of what you've been feeling, thinking, and embodying. If there's chaos, resistance, or scarcity, it didn't appear from nowhere. It was rehearsed, even if unconsciously. That's not a reason to blame yourself. It's a call to reclaim your power. You weren't born to beg for miracles. You came here to become the vibration that commands them. You're not here to fix a broken life. You're here to remember that nothing is broken, not when you return to alignment. And alignment starts the moment you stop waiting and start being. This is the shift. When you stop sending the field a signal that says, "I don't have, I'm not ready, I'm not enough," and begin radiating, "I am, I already am, it's already done." Not because you're delusional, but because you understand. The field doesn't create from logic, it creates from frequency. When Bob Proctor spoke about success, he didn't talk about goals, he talked about vibration. He knew that in order to change your results, you must first change your frequency. To lift yourself into the energy of the life you want, and to stay there even when your senses still show you the old world. This is where faith turns into science, because holding the vibration of what's unseen isn't wishful thinking, it's quantum precision. With every thought, every breath, every belief, you're collapsing potential into reality. So ask yourself, who are you being today? Not what you're doing, not what you're saying. Who are you being? Because your state of being is the most powerful prayer you'll ever offer the universe. And the field is always listening, always responding, always arranging reality to match your vibration. Not your wishes, not your fears, not your hopes, but your frequency. If it feels like life is asking more from you, maybe it is. Maybe it's waiting for you to become the version of yourself that's already aligned, already ready, already home. And when you do, when your thoughts, emotions, and actions flow from the energy of having, everything begins to change. The field doesn't resist coherence, it mirrors it. Before the law of attraction, there was something more ancient and precise, the law of vibration. Everything vibrates. This isn't poetic metaphors, it's quantum truth. From the tiniest subatomic particle to your thoughts, emotions, and intentions, everything carries a frequency, and those frequencies ripple outward into the quantum field, the invisible ocean of possibility that holds every version of reality that could ever exist. Bob Proctor was among the first to bring this wisdom into personal transformation. He taught that before you can attract anything, you must vibrationally match it. Because the universe doesn't respond to what you say or even what you want, it responds to what you are, your dominant. Frequency isn't shaped by your vision board or your checklist. It's formed by your state of being, your self-talk, your subconscious beliefs, your emotional baseline, your sense of identity. You can say, "I want abundance" every morning, but if your inner energy is tuned to scarcity, the field hears scarcity. Dr. Joe Dispenza says it clearly. You can't create a new reality with the same personality. Because your personality, your emotional signature. Your mental programming is continuously broadcasting into the field, and that field, like a cosmic mirror, doesn't respond to surface appearances. It reflects coherence. So how do you create coherence? It begins with alignment between what you feel and what you intend. Greg Braden calls this the language of the heart, a state where emotion and intention merge into one unified signal. That signal doesn't ask, it commands. Science even supports this. The HeartMath Institute discovered that the human heart produces the strongest electromagnetic field of any organ, 60 times stronger than the brain. When your heart and mind are synchronized, when emotion and intention move as one, you become a transmitter of resonance, and resonance changes reality. That's why the law of vibration always precedes the law of attraction, because attraction isn't something you do, it's something you become. You don't pull your dream toward you like a magnet. You tune into the frequency where that dream already lives. Just like a radio station, the song you want is already playing, but unless you dial into the right frequency, you won't hear it. Your ideal life isn't far away, it's just a frequency away. And you reach it not by forcing, but by vibrating differently. Bob Proctor said it simply, you must become the thing you want. You must vibrate at the level of the life you desire. That means letting go of the idea that wanting something is enough. The field doesn't recognize wanting, it recognizes being. Being is something you live, breath by breath, thought by thought, choice by choice. Many seekers get stuck here. They become masters of intention but amateurs of emotion. They can describe the future they want perfectly, but emotionally they're still anchored in doubt or lack. And the field picks up on the dominant signal, not the words. You can't trick the quantum field. You can't pretend your way into manifestation, but you can tune your way into it. You can align. You can calibrate. You can practice feeling like the version of you who already lives the life you're dreaming about. And in that practice, the space between vision and reality begins to dissolve. This isn't magic, it's coherence, it's neurobiology, it's quantum physics, ancient wisdom meeting modern science. And it's available to anyone willing to take responsibility for their frequency. The truth is simple. The field always responds. Not sometimes. Not when conditions are perfect, always. Every moment is a choice point. Every emotion is a broadcast. Every thought is a vibration sent into an infinite field of potential. So ask yourself, what are you transmitting today? Not what you wish for, but what you're rehearsing internally. What emotion have you normalized? What identity have you unconsciously agreed to live as? Because the law of vibration doesn't just attract, it filters what's possible. It tunes you to outcomes that match your energy. Shift your signal even slightly, and you shift the future that can find you. The future isn't waiting to arrive, it's waiting to be matched. And the moment you begin to live not by default but by design, not from fear but from frequency, that's when the field responds. Reality begins to organize itself around your vibration. Not because you begged for it, but because you became the frequency that commands it. When Bob Proctor said, "You don't get what you want, you get who you are," he wasn't talking about behavior alone. He was pointing to vibration, to the invisible frequency you live from every single day. Most people chase the effect without shifting the cause. They try to change outcomes instead of energy. But life isn't responding to your plans, it's responding to your presence. And that presence isn't shaped by effort, it's shaped by alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in the same direction, reality has no choice but to follow. Because coherence is creation, that's the power of awareness. Once you understand that you are constantly broadcasting, you stop living by reaction and start living by intention. You start designing your state rather than inheriting it. Your mind becomes the transmitter, your heart becomes the amplifier. And the field becomes your canvas. The science of frequency. Every thought generates an electrical signal. Every emotion generates a magnetic one. Together, they form your electromagnetic field, your personal signature in the quantum field. When these signals are chaotic or contradictory, the universe receives a scrambled message. When they are aligned, when what you think, feel, and believe all harmonize, the message becomes crystal clear. That clarity is what manifests as synchronicity, opportunity, and flow. So the real question isn't, how do I get what I want? It's, How do I become the frequency of what I desire? Because everything you desire already exists as energy, as a potential timeline waiting for a matching vibration. You don't need to chase it. You need to match it. That's what ancient mystics, spiritual teachers, and now quantum scientists are all pointing toward, the unshakable law that everything vibrates, and vibration organizes matter. Even Nikola Tesla hinted at it. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Becoming the signal, so how do you become that frequency? You begin by feeling, not faking, gratitude, wholeness, and love before there's a visible reason to. Because gratitude is the emotional signature of receiving. When you feel grateful in advance, you're telling the field, it's already done. You begin to walk, talk, and make decisions as if the version of you who already has the life you desire is the one in control, because that version already exists in the field. You're not inventing it, you're embodying it, and the more consistently you embody it, the faster the field rearranges itself to match. At first, it might feel unfamiliar. Your old self will try to pull you back into familiar frequencies of fear, doubt, and limitation. But every time you choose to hold the higher signal, even for a few moments longer, you're rewiring your neural networks and retuning your field. You're sculpting a new energetic identity, emotional mastery. Understand this, emotions are not random. They are guidance systems, feedback from your vibration. When you feel contraction, resistance, or fear, it's not punishment, it's information. It's showing you where your energy is misaligned with your intention. You can shift it instantly, not by suppressing the emotion, but by upgrading the meaning behind it. Instead of saying, I'm anxious, say, my energy is moving fast. Instead of saying, I'm lost, say, I'm in a space of recalibration. And shape energy, they define vibration. And when you shift your language, you shift the signal you broadcast. That's why affirmations work only when they move from words to emotion, when they stop being sentences and start becoming sensations. You can repeat I'm abundant 1,000 times, but the universe hears the vibration behind the words. So when you feel abundant, even before physical proof, and you're already living on that frequency, the field responds to consistency. Reality doesn't respond to occasional focus. It responds to habitual frequency. Every thought, every reaction, every belief becomes part of your ongoing transmission. So check in with yourself daily. What energy am I rehearsing? What emotion am I practicing? Because whatever you practice becomes permanent. The field doesn't judge, it mirrors. It reflects your most repeated vibration, not your most desired one. You don't attract what you want once. You attract what you keep becoming, the power of detachment. And here's a paradox most people miss. Manifestation happens faster when you stop chasing it. Desperation creates resistance. Certainty creates flow. When you let go, you're not giving up. You're releasing the frequency of lack. You're saying, I trust the field because I am the field. You stop forcing and start allowing. That's not laziness. It's energetic mastery. Because surrender isn't passive. It's powerful alignment. It's when your vibration says, I already have it, and I no longer need to prove it. In that state, synchronicities multiply, doors open effortlessly, and life starts to feel choreographed, not by luck, but by resonance. The quantum shift. Bob Proctor's life was living proof of this principle. He didn't rise from poverty through luck. He shifted his vibration from limitation to abundance. Once his frequency changed, circumstances followed naturally. He understood that success isn't an act, it's a state. It's the energetic signature of someone who already knows they're worthy of what they desire. And worthiness isn't earned, it's remembered. When you remember who you truly are, infinite consciousness, expressing itself as a human being. As you stop begging the universe for permission to receive, you start co-creating with it. You become the cause, not the effect, the sculptor, not the clay, the signal, not the seeker. Final alignment, so pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Feel the space between your heartbeat and your breath. That's where the field lives. That's where creation begins. Now imagine the version of you who's already living your highest timeline, the one who doesn't question their worth, who moves with calm certainty, who radiates gratitude without condition. That version of you isn't far away. It's vibrating right beside you. All that separates you is frequency. And the moment you start feeling, thinking, and acting from that vibration, it's no longer someday. It's now, because the field has only one response to coherence: yes. So become the vibration that matches the reality you want. Think it, feel it, live it, and the universe will mirror it back on perfectly, precisely, and without delay. Remember, you are not chasing miracles. You are the miracle, learning to broadcast itself clearly.